Welcome to the Thanksgiving main slate mashup, hosted by Seasonal DFS. I'm Jamie, and I'm welcoming Rich, who's joining me to give us his thoughts on the Thanksgiving main slate. It is the Thanksgiving main slate, isn't it? Basically, what
just
it is.
The Thanksgiving slate. I think there's only one.
Yeah,
there's only three, but there was only 3 games.
Now there's only 2.
No, there's only 2.
Which has really put it's not made it very fun, is it?
Not really, because it's kind of removed one of the games that I was probably more excited to watch, to be honest, more than anything.
Which was it was the late one, wasn't it, for us? It was 1:20 starting in the morning.
Yeah. I wasn't going to stay up to watch it, but it would have been good to see the next day. Whatever.
I know what you mean. Anyone who listens or watches the main slate mashup show, let's call it, knows kind of how we do things. We usually go about a high priced and positions and low price positions and stacks and you know that. Yeah, we're not doing that because there's 2 games. So we're basically just going to go talk through quarterbacks we like, running backs we like, wide receivers, tight ends, DSTs, get a stack, and then do have a lineup that we've put together for this slate. So let's start straight away with quarterbacks. Rich.
Yeah, I mean the obvious one is Watson.
Yeah,
most expensive on the slate, but it's difficult to look.
He's the only one for me.
I mean, I actually had another 2, but it's now kind of just 1. So for me, it's DESHAUN Watson, 7,400. He is pretty much matchup proof. I mean, even if he wasn't, he's going to get up against Detroit. So
PJ Walker lit up last week.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 250 or something.
Yeah, because when you're a backup in the XFL and then step into the NFL, that's some quality play right there.
Oh yeah.
The other guy that I was going to mention was Matthew Stafford, but now with the news that Kenny Galladay's out, I'm kind of not as hot on him. Yeah. So Andy Dalton, an opportunity to redeem himself from his struggle when he last played Washington, when he left the game early.
3.6 points.
Yeah,
on a nasty hit he got.
Yeah, it was a horrible hit, but I mean the offense was struggling.
Yeah.
Anyway, the weather wasn't great, which was a big factor. Washington seemed like they were able to pin their ears back and get to him. So I think that he'll be under pressure, but he's had some pieces of that offensive line return, and we saw in Minnesota he was able to put decent passes together and lead that offense. So he's a cheaper option for you if you need one.
Yeah, for me it's basically DESHAUN Watson. I'm just going to ride DESHAUN Watson. I don't care about the price, 7,400. It's Detroit. Watson's playing some really good ball. I can see where you're coming from with Andy Dalton, price cheaper, 1,800 cheaper at 56. Washington defense, it's not awful. It's not good. It's not bad up front. They might be able to get to him a couple of times for sacks, but he's got the weapons: Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, Amari Cooper. So yeah, I quite like that. Running backs, I'll start DeAndre Swift. If he's playing, basically at the moment he's still questionable due to the concussion he had a couple of weeks ago. He has managed to log back-to-back limited practices to start this week, but not as a non-participant. I think if he plays, it's a really good opportunity for him against the Texans defense. Rushdie, who it just isn't very good, and he's 6,500. Without Golladay, without Amendola, he's basically the only. You can't really call Marvin Jones the top weapon. DeAndre Swift should see a lot of work if he plays. What about you, mate? You same with Swift?
Yeah, Swift and Zeke's worth consideration as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the amount of touches he'll get. But yes, Swift's my main option. I think it's really chalky, and I know we spoke about it briefly before we started recording, but Duke Johnson is worth consideration as well at 5,700. The price just makes it kind of too appealing to not. I mean, against Detroit, who really struggle against defending the run. You've seen he's getting the attempts, he's just not been able to move the ball with it. But
it's volume, isn't it?
Cleveland and New England are both halfway decent against running backs. Jacksonville was a disappointment, obviously, but I don't know. I think that at 5,700, even just with the passing game work, he should be able to hit somewhat of a value for you. So,
yeah, I've got another one, and it's I think it's the Washington backfield. I think it kind of depends on how you see in the game going. Do you see Washington play catch up, or do you see Washington getting a lead and running the ball out? Because for me, I think Washington are probably going to be playing catch up against Dallas, which brings into play J.D. McKissick. Last week was, let's say, a bit of a disappointment. Week 9 and week 10, he saw 14 and 15 targets in the passing game. Last week, he only saw 4. He sees anywhere from 5 to 8 rushing attempts. So he's seeing the opportunity. 5,100. I quite like him. And
I can't hate it at all.
And even Gibson, who's valued at 6,000, they're seeing kind of snap share. I think it's fairly similar. I think last week Gibson saw a slightly higher uptick on snaps than Gibson. He's 6,000. He scored 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. So yeah, he's another good option if you kind of think that Washington might have a lead and might try and run the ball a bit more than letting Alex Smith try and toss the ball all over the place. Wide receivers, where are you at wide receiver wise?
Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
I know he's the most expensive on the slate, but I mean, Dallas have struggled against receivers. He's getting he's getting consistent number of targets. He's the lead guy in Washington's offense. And on this slate being smaller, you can definitely afford to kind of spend up on him.
Well, this is the thing with now it only being they're priced up for 3 games with the Steelers and the Ravens. You can basically fit whoever you want in your lineup. I think you haven't got a huge amount of restrictions. Who else wide receiver wise do you like in this?
CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
He looked pretty good in how they used him in the red zone last week. Seems like he's built some type of a rapport with Dalton, who trusts him some tight windows. He could have easily had more than 1 touchdown. I think he had a couple near catches. I wouldn't say drops; they were near catches.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the price for that. We also spoke about Kenny Golladay being out, so Marvin Jones is worth consideration, 5,500, so slightly more expensive than CeeDee Lamb. And the last one is a guy that we always bring up pretty much every week, I think, at this point, Brandin Cooks.
Yeah.
5,300. I think you'll see Fuller probably get the attention from Detroit, which means that Cooks will be able to do what he wants, really, within reason. So,
yeah, Cooks has played really, really well this year. It's tough to say you'd probably say Fuller's the wide receiver 1 there and Cooks the wide receiver 2, but I don't think there's much in it.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks for me was great. I quite like him. Also, you talked about CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper is one that I quite liked. It's very simple. He is the wide receiver 1 there. Him and Lamb are seeing similar kind of target share. Lamb is cheaper than Cooper this week.
Yeah, see, I originally thought I'd like Cooper,
Yeah,
but Washington are really good against wide receivers, and he'll get the primary coverage.
yeah,
He also doesn't seem like he's getting the looks in the red zone. So for me, I have a similar risk profile for the two of them,
yeah,
but I have slightly more upside with Lamb because he has the red zone targets.
yeah. No,
That's where I ended up getting.
Yeah, I think you might have swayed me. I think you might have swayed me there. There is one cheaper option that I quite like this week. It's Stephen Sims Jr.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Third game back from an injury. Fourth game back from an injury. Actually, week 9 was he didn't see many snaps. 1 target for 4 yards, 1 reception against Detroit. Second game back, it was 5 receptions, 6 targets, 46 yards. And last week was 3 receptions for 13 yards, but he got a touchdown. He's the slot guy. He played really well at the back end of last year in the slot for them. And I kind of think now it's going to be his 4th full game, 3rd or 4th full game back. I think he'll kind of start with getting 60 or 70% snap share, hopefully, like he was at the back end of last year, and showing kind of what he can do. And at 3,200, I think it's a real, if I'm honest, you don't need to, on this slate, you don't really need to save money.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is kind of more of a slate of I don't know, what am I trying to say? It's kind of who you really think is going to do well. So you could put Stephen Sims in, whereas you could actually afford Terry McLaurin if you really wanted to. But someone said you might go, do you know what? I think McLaurin might. The Cowboys defense has played slightly better. The corners are playing better recently. Sims might see a bit more open space in the middle of the field at 3,200. I'll take a chance. And playing someone like Sims is going to be, I think, a bit of a contrarian play. I don't think he'll be highly owned.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Compared to the McLaurins or the Coopers or the Lambs. But yeah, it's a bit of a chance on Stephen Sims there. But yeah, he was someone I like the look of. Tight end, where you at?
Tight end, there's 2, and they're in the same game. Dalton Schultz and Logan Thomas.
I'll let you talk about Schultz. He was one of mine.
Yeah, so Schultz is a selection because Washington, while they're good against wide receivers, they struggle against tight ends.
Yep.
He's been getting targets, and particularly in and around the red zone. Like, I don't know if you actually watched the game against the Vikings, if you've watched it back at all. But
I did, because I did watch it because I needed Dalton Schultz for a touchdown. For a bit of money,
yeah, you landed it. Where they literally just forced him
at the end. Yeah, like three attempts. Yeah. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they literally just force fed him the ball in the red zone. So yeah, that's what you really want to see it with the tight end position.
Yeah,
Logan Thomas, same.
Like a broken record, mate, with Logan Thomas.
It's just like targets. Like with how the point is in DraftKings. Like, for me, it just feels like, how can you not like him?
5 to 6 targets a week is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, I know he did nothing with them last week, but I mean, this game got kind of a little bit out of control with Burrow leaving it when it did. Like, they just didn't really need to do that much because Bengals weren't really offering too much on offense at that point. So
no, I've got a guy I've been high on for a while, Jordan Akins. He was injured a couple of games ago. He's back in with 1 reception for 5 yards against Cleveland in week 10, and the week before that was 2 receptions for 19, and then last week 5 receptions for 83 yards. He's a big body. I think now with Kenny Stills and Randall Cobb both being out, he's going to be utilised more. They might ink in a bit of Kiki QT, who scored a touchdown last week. I think his first ever touchdown. But yeah, I think he will be utilised this week, Jordan Akins, and at 2,900. Love the price. Love the price. I think defense now is going to be quite interesting, because I'm guessing we both probably would have had the Pittsburgh Steelers as our main defense. now we can't.
Yeah, so it's Washington. Like, if it's not Washington, like, I feel like it has to be Washington.
I've got the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's usually like to be different, but
Alex Smith gets sacked. We've talked about this before with defenses. We want to see sacks.
Yeah,
he gets sacked. He does throw interceptions.
I just don't think they can get the pressure on. That's the thing. Like, how many sacks have they recorded this season? Click through.
I'm gonna have a quick look.
I don't think it's that many. I think it's just DeMarcus Lawrence.
19.
So around about two a game.
And the Washington have done 32. That's fair. I think the O-line is Zach Martin back. I think he's back.
I think he is back
for the Cowboys, which is really important for them.
Yeah, it is.
But the difference here is away from home. The Washington have had 7 sacks away from home, and at home they had 25. So there's a real sharp difference in the two there. I just want to see what the Cowboys are looking like on that. Cowboys are just as bad, really. At home they've only recorded 6 sacks and away 13. Yeah, you're going for sacks. I'm going because it's Alex Smith. He gets sacked. I think both quarterbacks. I don't hate it. I prefer the price if I were needing to save money. Because I wanted to put a Juju in or somewhere, but we don't need to anymore. You can basically pick whichever defense you want. The Cowboys at 2,800, the Skins at 3,700. What we're really hoping for with these defenses is a real kind of low-scoring game, 10 sacks each, and then you're looking good, aren't we?
Yep.
No interest in the Texans or the Lions at 27
really.
and 22. No.
I mean, I think if I was going to risk one of them, then I'll probably chuck in the Texans. But I don't really want to do either of them.
I too totally agree. Stack. Have you got a stack that you quite like?
Dalton and Lamb and Schultz.
Yeah, I like that. My stack is Watson, Cooks, Akins. Fuller if you feel like it, but Cooks and Akins for me. Watson, Cooks and Akins, I quite like that. Let's get on to our lineups.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to go position by position again.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Quarterback, Rich. Who's starting?
Andy Dalton.
I thought you were going to say Andy Dalton, just to be different. You just want to be different. And do you know what? You chose Andy Dalton partly because you knew that I was going to choose someone else. And I chose that someone else because I knew you were going to choose Andy Dalton.
There you go then.
Know each other. You've gone Andy Dalton. I've gone to Sean Watson at 7,400. Who's your running back one?
Zeke.
Yeah, I've got Zeke at 6,800. Your running back two?
Swift.
Yeah, Swift is 6,500 if he plays, obviously. Your wide receiver one?
McLaurin.
My wide receiver one is Will Fuller.
Okay.
Your wide receiver two?
CeeDee Lamb.
My wide receiver two is Brandon Cooks. Your wide receiver three?
Brandon Cooks.
My wide receiver three is Amari Cooper. Your tight end?
Schultz.
My tight end is Jordan Akins. Your flex?
Duke Johnson.
My flex is Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
And your defense is the Washington defense.
Yeah.
And my defense is the Cowboys. So on my team, I'll run it as quickly. It's DeShaun Watson, Ezekiel Elliott, DeAndre Swift, Will Fuller, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Jordan Akins, Antonio Gibson, and the Dallas Cowboys defense. And yours is?
Andy Dalton, Zeke and Swift at running back, McLaurin, Lamb, and Cooks at wide receiver. Tight end is Dalton Schultz. Flex is Duke Johnson, and the DST is the Washington football team.
It is a bit more boring. It's a bit boring now that the Steelers and the Ravens aren't in there, isn't it? It's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, now there's just two. It's just like there's not really a different. Like I feel like they should have almost just cancelled the slate because it's not really a lot of different strategies that you can really go with. Like it feels to me like you're kind of set in what you're doing. You don't really have to save a lot of money. at any position.
Well, we think differently, because you think they probably should have cancelled that. I think they should have just kept it and added the scores from the Steelers game on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like add them from Sunday or cancel it. Like, I feel like now we've got like a medium ground done. Like, I don't know how many people would be happy with it.
No, I don't think a lot of people will, mate. I don't think a lot of people will. Where can we find you on Twitter, mate? What are your Twitter handles?
Rich King FF or KFantasy_sports.
Jubbly. You'll be able to go to what's the website for K Fantasy Sports? Is it kingfantasysports.com?
It is, yeah. It's quite a code I've got there.
I know. I don't know how I got that. Just a proper guess. Got some good articles, DFS articles, Star articles, general fantasy stuff there, mate. It's good. You can find me. I almost had a blank on my Twitter handle. It's Jamie_Byram KM. Kickers matter. And seasonal DFS is at seasonal DFS. And the website is www.seasonlongdfs.com. Enjoy the games on Thursday, mate.
You too. And
enjoy the Sunday games as well. And I hope you managed to get everything sorted out with the neighbour and the fence. You can't see Rich's face. It was a bit of a kind of like, I think I'm going to.
That's more of a, I'm not going to publicly comment on it.
Oh, he's not publicly commenting in case his neighbour listens. All right, mate. Have a good one, and we'll speak next Wednesday.
Yeah, take it easy, mate.
Peace out.